First of all, how much capital gain can you get from developing a rooming or a co-living house? Now, we know that recent sales of rooming and co-living properties have shown gains of up to 16 to 27% and even more in value when sold immediately after the construction is finished. Now, I want you to hear that again. Right? People that have invested in these properties and they didn't even do all the work, right? Just by investing in one of these properties and building it from scratch, getting involved in the process from the get-go, right? Anywhere from 16 to 27% of added equity or manufactured growth or value in that property was created for that particular investor. And I'm going to show you exactly how we did that. All right, let's look at this rooming house that made $245,000 profit for the investor in less than 1 year, plus it was bought with a 9.75% rental income yield. Now, it was sold development ready in 2023, and you can see that it was actually one big block that was split into two, and each one was sold for $1,040,000 with the rooming house to be constructed on that side. The projected rent of the finished development was $101,000 and $386 with a 9.74% gross yield. Now, when it was finished, one of those investors actually wanted to sell this property, and they sold it in just 11 months later, right? And they sold it for $1,285,000, as you can see there, which is a $245,000 profit. But the new investor, whoever bought that property, was getting 7.88% gross yield. And you know, some people are happy with that because they don't want to go through what they perceive to be is the risk of buying something off the plan or developing it, you know, along with somebody like ourselves, you know, and they want to buy the finished product. Well, yeah, you can do that, but that's the kind of profit that you're giving up by buying a finished property, right? Here's another one. This one made $270,000 profit in just 11 months. Plus, it was giving a 9.88% return, right, on a investment property, which is unheard of in the residential market. That's what the property looked like. It was sold off the plan, if you like, back in 23 for $1,080,000. It was development ready, so the plans were already drawn up, everything was ready to go. The projected rent was $106,650 per annum with that 9.88% yield. Now, once again, most of these properties, people will hold them once they're built. But there's a few that have been resold, and this one resold for $1,350,000. Again, less than a year later, for a 25% jump in value, you know, of that property. The investor that bought it only got a 7.9% gross yield, but they were still happy with that because it was a completed product. They didn't have to worry about the building. They didn't have to wait. They got the instant income from the day they bought the property. Now, $270,000 though was forsaken for the sake of convenience. So remember, if you're looking for convenience with properties, you will ultimately pay a penalty, right? If you get involved from the start, you will make more money. It's as simple as that. Here's another example. Winter Valley, which is in Ballarat, where we have a couple of good sites at the moment where we're looking for partners to develop them. If you build a normal residential property there, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, they're selling for around $790,000. Right, the developer profit in that will be somewhere between $150,000 to $200,000 if you bought the land originally and built the property and went through all the approvals and everything. But the end result is you're getting a product that gets $550 a week and 3.6% return. Now you compare it to another property that we've got actually with the designs and everything's already approved for building a rooming house, which will actually get a $1,750 a week and 10.46% return. And this is going to be guaranteed for 5 years. And the cost to build this property is only about $80,000 and $90,000 more than a regular property, such as the one on the right. But you've still got $150,000, $200,000 or $250,000 in developer profit in that property if you get in on the ground level before it's completed. Because once that property is completed, right, based on the other examples I've shown you, it could be worth anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 more based on the examples that we've seen in the past. Now, let's look at the 11 steps you actually need to take to become a rooming or co-living investment property developer. Because by now, I hope you're getting a little bit excited about the potential of this type of property investment. And look, I certainly got excited about this type of property investing, and I'm selling a couple of my other property investments to buy into these types of properties. So let's do this journey together.